doing, everyone? It is Sunday night. It's 8 o'clock, and it is time for a motherfucking episode of Braw Cast. I'm Billy Kirkwood. Relax. I've never heard of me either, but if you've never heard of Braw Cast, let me clue you in exactly what it is. It is brought to you by the sexy motherfuckers over at Braw Beard Oils, the premier beard oil and accessories company. You know, right there, get some gorgeous oil for your beard, some combs, some hats, some t-shirts. Why not do that in time for Christmas? But we bring you this podcast each and every weekend, and the way it works is we talk to weird and wonderful individuals from all walks of life from the alternative universe. We have had BDSM models, we have had pro wrestlers, we've had comedians, we've had beard models, we've had actors, we've had who else have we had? We've had mountain climbers, mountain bikers, we've had people taking on 50 marathons in 50 days, and so much more. And we get to learn a little bit about them, their journey through life, and hopefully we have ourselves a couple of laughs. Just before we kick things off with today's very special guest, the Breathing Method, before we get to them, don't forget to head over and like all the stuff that's going on at Braw Beard Oil's social media. You can hit us up on YouTube. There's vlogs there. There's previous archive episodes of this, which you can also check out over on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. Right. Now let's talk about today's guest. We have not, in all that time, ever had a full band on. All right, we don't have a full band on today. We'll cover that. We've got a band on today. The majority of the backbone, the brain trust, we've got the shaft, we've got the tip, and we've got one of the balls. We're almost entirely there, and what you need to get a good pumping when you're listening to music. Today we have for you the Breathing Method. They're a 5-piece post-grunge, I think I've said heavy rock band is what I was told to say. They are absolutely amazing. Let's get a little look at them in action, and then we're going to meet the boys. Welcome, my very special guests, the Breathing Method. Here we are. Here we go. I see that Jamie has actually managed to change his, because at one point, literally the view we had, it looked like the view your dick has looking up at you. So I'm glad to see you change that, Jamie. Thank you very much. Guys, thanks for coming on. We got a little listen to some of your stuff. We're going to get a little listen to some more later. I know it's been a busy year for you. 2022, everything kind of exploding. What's happened for you this year so far?
This year's been brilliant. It's kind of a weird one. So Jamie and James were actually originally had started the band back in sort of 2004, 2005,
right,
under the name Seraphim and Finest Hour. And then I think our favourite Ayrshire band, Biffy Clyro, had put them off the name Seraphim. Because they toured.
Are they popular?
I think so. I'm not entirely sure. I think I've heard of them before. Maybe streamed a couple of their songs. But so they put them off the name Seraphim because they toured with a band called Seraphim, and then the band went on hiatus until this time last year. What?
It was like Seraphim, F-I-N. We were P-H-I-M, but it was just too close. So we were like, oh, fuck it.
Oh my God, that's like the disaster of disasters, just because of this slight. Do you think, did people genuinely get it confused? Was it like were people bringing it up all the time, and you thought we need to make this change?
Either of us, to be honest. So I don't think it really mattered. But I did like the name Finest Hour. I thought that was a good name. But the Breathing Method's by far my favourite name.
Well, we got to talk about the origins of the name, right? Because to anyone that's had a kid, the Breathing Method's been sometimes brought up as the whole thing that they teach in hospitals, labars and what have you. But that's not what we're talking about here. Where'd the Breathing Method come from?
Actually does have a...
It's actually a Stephen King novella. I think it's in the Four Seasons book with the Shawshank Redemption. I think it's in the same book. It is actually about a pregnant woman, but just the Breathing Method, I don't know. It just seemed to work. We've always liked it. So
dealing with intense experiences, panic scenario, blood rushing, man. It's what you want. The Breathing Method.
Well, yeah. If you ever come to see one of our live shows, that's not what it's like.
It's like between every song I have to perform the Breathing Method.
And this is commonly when I would come in and call Jamie a fat. See you next Tuesday.
Right, okay. You can swear on the show if you want. You can swear on the show.
Jamie, you're a fat cunt. I hate you.
There we go. And ironically, I'm told that's the name of the next album, which we're all very excited about.
That's exactly what the next album's called.
When did everything start getting kind of the wheels turning? Because, like, obviously, like you said, James and Jamie, they were both working on this before. Where do you come into this, Scott, and where does everything kind of rebuild into what the breathing method is today?
So it came about. So obviously, like Jamie and I own Ellis Music Studios in Irvine. It's a practice and recording space, and we've always been musicians, and we were kind of sort of sitting like basically jealous of everybody that was coming through the door because we wanted to be playing music again. So we put the call into James to see if he would be interested in reforming the breathing method, and like I'd always wanted to be the front man of a band, and Jamie didn't want to sing anymore, so I basically took over the sort of like the singing duties, and Jamie does a fine job of doing backing guitar and providing oomph to the vocals. So
that's my job in technical terms. I'm the man with the oomph.
Yeah, I think like we went through a couple of lineups at the start, which didn't work out for one reason or another. And when we brought Trish in to play drums for us, and she slotted in really, really well. And then we had Max playing with us, which is funny because G's our bassist, but he's not in that music video. It's actually Max.
No,
Max was in the band temporarily, permanent. He'd said that he would fill in, and we just didn't bother looking for anybody else until one day he went, "Remember, guys, I don't want to do this full time." And then that's when we brought G in. And since G has came on board, it's like the band sort of went from strength to strength. You know, we played our first live gig in April, and we played our 14th gig of the year and our last gig of the year at the Cat House a couple of weeks ago. And it's just like, as I say, we've just built it up we went from strength to strength, gelled as a unit. The songwriting, the new songs that we're writing sound mega, and it's just all part of the process of moving forward as a band.
So we don't have the full squad here.
No.
Other commitments and what have you, and that's fine. Don't forget, you can head over, check out everything the guys doing over on the website, Facebook, everything's up there, including the full lineup. In fact, hang on, I do think, give me just 1 second so nobody feels left out. I think I've got a picture of you all here. There you are. That is the full ensemble.
Yeah. So there's the really sexy motherfucker in the middle is myself, obviously. Okay. The old guy in the top left is Jamie. Then you've got James down the bottom, and Trish on drums.
There we go.
It looks like I've just stepped straight out of Rammstein.
You do have a bit of Till Lindemann about you there.
It's an I can't decide if black and white does you any favors or not, but enough of
in my face. In other words,
you know what's weird? It's seeing you without your glasses.
Yeah.
That's what's weird about it. So, G, you coming into this, I don't know, it's kind of rebirth of this band and what have you. What was your experience? Like previously, what had you been doing before you came in?
Well, I was in bands for years back in Cumnock days. And I knew Jamie. I've known Jamie since, 96? 97 maybe? But he was in April Floor, and my band, I can't remember what band I was in at the time, 12 Below Zero or something like that.
Right.
And we used to play, Mogadon. That was it. Mogadon. Back in the Cape Art Tavern days.
Yes.
Yes, old school Kelly. And then but through all I just quit music eventually. Just family, too much on, you know what I mean? The kids have grown up a wee bit. And the boys asked for a bassist, and I went and auditioned.
Oh, brilliant!
It's been brilliant, loving it.
It's
great to do something I love.
Well, there you go. I mean, after people forget, real life gets in the way of a lot of artistic stuff. So getting a chance to jump back in, what what was it? What was the first second? Was it these guys getting in touch or hearing about the audition that made you go like, I think I'm going to get back into this?
They popped up a Facebook thing looking for a bass player, and I went, I think I fancy that. So I asked the boss, and she said it was all right. And then popped down for a jam, and it was good fun. And then went down to. Then they asked me to come down to Skipton.
Mogadon's actual bass player applied. He ended up.
Aye, that's right.
You're vocalist, weren't you?
I was not in Mogadon. I was bassist.
We bassist.
He was vocalist. He was vocalist and guitarist.
To be fair,
I was.
Years.
in just under a year, a lot's happened, right? So as well as you've already got some music videos out there, we're already getting gigs. You're already working on new music. Let's go back to the gig number one, right? Because I'm always interested in gig number one. Where was it?
Okay.
Where was it? What was the highlight and what was the low light of gig number one?
The first gig that we did together as a band was at Venue 38 in Ayr, which is a fucking brilliant venue, really good. They really look after you. I hadn't gigged for maybe 18 years, so I got really drunk.
Jesus Christ! I thought that was going to be like 8 months or something. I didn't expect 18 fucking years. That's a person. That's a person.
Yeah, exactly. I hadn't done it. Well, it's maybe not as much as 18, but it felt like it at least anyway. But yeah, it was at least what?
Even then, you were behind the drum kit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I hadn't gigged for at least 15 years, but closer to 18, and I was really nervous, so I just got really drunk and shouted at people. And it, do you know what? I didn't fuck it up. I didn't make a cunt of it, but it was it was interesting. So that was probably the low light for me, getting drunk and not really being able to remember a lot of the first gig. But we did have our second gig directly the night after, which was quite fun.
All right, okay.
And I didn't get drunk for that.
Where was gig number two?
Audio in Glasgow, which is like kind of a home away from home at the moment for us.
Yeah.
Cool venue. It's a great venue.
It's brilliant. It's the old Rockers venue underneath the arches.
I know the one you mean. You mean. Although it's not called arches anymore, it's called platform now.
Well, yes, that's exactly it. Platform, yes.
Platform now. I'd say can't really make any comments. But in terms of feeling like this connection's happening, because like you hear about bands coming together and then it just not working within the first couple of gigs. Will you start feeling it? It was like this is going to work out. This is we've kind of got the chemistry we're looking for, or where are we thinking? Are we going to be in long term? Is that what you guys were thinking on those early stages, or it's like needs to get work to be done? Because one of the big problems it seems to be with like new bands or new combinations is that they're not willing to put in the work, and you guys certainly are.
Yeah, we don't really have time on our side. Is the problem we have?
We're all getting old, Jamie. There's no need to be bleak about it. We're all getting old.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I'd love to have had this mentality and this kind of level of commitment and everything 20 odd years ago.
Right.
Instead, we just wanted to go and get drunk and have fun. And it's like, it's a bit of a shame that we didn't get to this stage back then. But now we are all mentally there and interested and committed. But we are looking at the calendar going, oh fuck, time is tight.
Father time waits for no man. I think like, see, just on what you were saying about like gelling, I think it's really weird. Like, so Jamie and I are obviously like really good friends and have been for a while, and we're business partners, so we spend a lot of time with each other, and so you kind of have to be. But I genuinely haven't met a group of people that I've bonded with so quickly, and I think I said in another interview that we did that I sort of treat the band as a brotherhood, as a family, brotherhood and one sisterhood. Look, we do fall out, we do argue, we do from time to time like have spats, but it's just because we're passionate about the music and we want to get as much stuff out there as possible. And as Jamie says, time isn't on our side anymore. Like, this is the last kick of the ball for us, as far as I'm concerned, at least anyway.
Jesus Christ, that was all quite positive, and then it took a right bleak turn right at the end.
It's not, but that's what gives us the drive. That's what gives us the fire and the passion to be able to do the stuff that we're doing now. Do you know what I mean? As Jamie says, like if we had this commitment 20 years ago, I think like we would all have been like famous rock stars and already dead by a heroin overdose by now. So you know,
straight to heroin. Straight to heroin. There wasn't even a gateway drug there. Straight to heroin.
Yeah,
straight to heroin.
Right. Aye. Yeah.
Fair enough, man. We'll even starting off with dairy milk.
I will start a 47 club. Aye.
Right, let's talk sound and influences, because I was looking at the description, reading up again online. The 5-piece post-grunge metal rock band. How did you hard rock band? Hard rock band from Scotland. Let's talk a little bit of influences. We can go around the clock or whatever. What is the bands that you think you draw your most musical influence for as a performer? I mean, whenever I've been asked that question, I always think of what I like, and I'm very eclectic in taste of all my music's all over the place. But as a performer, Jamie, let's start with you. What do you think is your musical influences you take on stage that you're bringing into what the Breathing Method are doing?
Curb Dog, a kind of lesser known Irish band, were always the big influence for me. The style was excellent, but they also made me want to be in a band. You know, just like listening to the tape repeat at school. It just made me want to be in a band. But you know, it's obviously comparisons with Nirvana that we get, and I love Pixies. I love Therapy. Therapy, one of my favourite bands. Helmet's another one.
Oh my god, I've not heard Therapy said in years. I'm going to listen to some Therapy after this.
Oh, I love Therapy. I love them. In fact, I've got a wee Therapy tattoo on my finger.
Oh yes, loser. Well, that's nice anyway.
I was going to get a question mark there where my wedding ring used to sit.
Oh, for God's sake!
You know,
just your Tinder profile, just written there. Just a
QR code to his Tinder. Tinder bio.
Do you know, actually, that's not the worst idea in the world.
It's not bad.
And it just flashes up to a big picture of Jamie going, "Do you want your hole?" Just a standard on a website.
I think.
So we're talking. That's certainly what we're getting from you, Scott. What about you, man?
I've always been a metalhead at heart. You know, so like from back in the day, it was like my dad brought me up on a steady diet of classic sort of heavy metal bands like Black Sabbath. As I cultivated my own taste, it was like Metallica, Pantera, Slipknot. I didn't get into grunge until I was a lot older. I didn't really appreciate it when I was younger. You know, I was kind of one of those kids that was like, if it's not metal, I'm fucking not listening to it. And I kind of sort of like stumped my musical growth a bit like when I was younger. But as I've got older, I start listening to sort of a lot of different sort of like styles of music, and grunge was certainly one of them. So like, you know, like Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden are all massive influences. In terms of like, for me, like Slipknot's my favourite band in the world. Always has been, always will be. And yeah, that's really sort of where I take a lot of my influences from. But these guys won't let me do a lot of the shouty, growly things that I want to do. We tend to have quite heated arguments. This is the fucking hill I'm dying on. Like, you're not doing it, Scott. Fine.
I would.
There you go.
I want double kick pedals in the drums and everything.
Yeah, me too.
There is a debate coming about a vocal in the new EP.
It's not a debate. It's fucking happening whether you like it or not.
I've done it before.
So will I.
All right, well, this is the end of the Breathing Method. Congratulations, everyone. The final concert where they're all signing off. In terms of, like, I'm going to talk a little bit about Slipknot just quickly. Scott, have you ever had to sit through any of the Slipknot tribute bands? I believe the most famous one being Not Slip. Have you ever? I've not even made that up.
I love tribute acts, but I don't think I could objectively sit through a Slipknot tribute act and go, that's not like that. The time signature on that song's not like that. That's not what Corey Taylor sounds like. I couldn't do it.
all I can say is the boys at Not Slip are not a fan of mine because they were touring around the same venues at the same time as ICW, and every night I would make a joke about them being called like Cock Slip or something like that, like every night. To the point that, like, I think the third venue in a row that it happened, they actually sent their manager to complain because I was upsetting the boys. So there we go.
Oh,
there we go.
fuck off. I've never even met them or heard them, and even I don't like them, the bunch of fucking pussies.
How mental is that? Oh, the bad man said some horrible things.
Oh my God.
Bad? Probably sold them some extra tickets. We're going to come to you, G. What's your musical influences? What were you into, and what do you take on stage with you as a performer?
Yeah, I'm metal. A grunge, a wee bit of Nirvana, a wee Horse and Chains, but I'm metal.
Right.
I love like Tool, Korn, Lamb of God, just about everything at the moment.
All brilliant bands.
Yeah.
All brilliant bands. Yeah. I just listen to mixes of kind of thrash and new metal and stuff like that. It's just just me. And Sam Fender.
What?
You've got a bit of Sam Fender in there.
That seems to be my top choice in Spotify just now.
Oh, right, okay. Well, if anyone wants,
it was the kids that did it.
Aye.
They get their own Spotify.
If anyone wants to check out G's Wrapped 2022 over on his Spotify, you'll be able to see Sam Fender. Boom. Top artist. Did any of you do that festival thing? Where you can make a festival?
Yeah.
Mine was pure terrible. Like, I'm going to say. Mine was pure terrible. I thought Ghost is headlining this. Fucking right in the bottom, man. Anyone getting any bizarre stinkers into their Spotify festival?
I got Blippy. I got Blippy soundtrack.
Blippy from Scott. Did you say Hugh Jackman?
Hugh Jackman, because of probably the wee one listening to The Greatest Showman.
Greatest Showman's a banger, man.
Snowman.
Like, listen, I don't give a fuck if it destroys my cred. That's a brilliant movie, and Hugh Jackman fucking smashed it out the park in that. That and Les Mis, fucking magic.
Some pump as well. Some
Oft.
Jackman would do a good job on you. Pretty confident. Jim, have you got something to add on the Jackman hammer in your chat, or is this music?
I don't really have any stinkers. I do have like a few of the kids. The kids are obsessed with like the video games soundtracks.
Do you not get SpongeBob in yours as well, actually?
Oh, SpongeBob isn't mine, that's right. But I can't say that it's not me.
This is the most immature thing in a way, but I'm actually trying to make it look like it's my hand rubbing Jamie's head. Never done that before.
Have you ever heard of the SpongeBob tribute?
There it is.
Bob Sponge.
There we go. Right, I'm nearly done.
It's really confusing.
It's not easy though, is it? It's not easy. Right, let's talk about getting you guys out on the road. We're starting to hit. We're starting to do gigs, getting back in front of live crowds. 2022, the year to do it, because everything's opening up again. Venues are opening up again. You guys are getting out and about. Not only are you doing events in Scotland, but you're out there supporting bands down in England and getting some road miles down. Where did that come from in terms of, like, because a lot of you guys said, you know, this was you getting back out into bands in front of people. How did you find that experience getting back out in front of live crowds after all this time? And what were the crowds like? How did they respond to this new band?
Amazing.
My experience has been amazing.
Yeah, I think right at the very start it was tough because you still had a bit of hangover from COVID, and like trying to shift tickets wasn't the easiest thing in the world to do. As it's progressed, it's just got like so much better. We've played some brilliant gigs this year. Like, I think like highlights for me is obviously Cat House like a couple of weeks ago was brilliant. But going down to Newcastle with the guys from Rilber Raptors, like, you know, dropping in a bit of love for Rilber Raptors. Band are brilliant, really brilliant bunch of guys. But we played in Little Buildings in Newcastle, and it's like Little Buildings is probably like the size of my living room. It's tiny, and there was like 75 people crammed in there, and it was an absolute sweatbox. It was brilliant. And we played the night before in Barnum's, and that was a brilliant gig as well. So like, as it's progressed throughout the year, it's like steadily busier, and as we've been building our sort of profile, you know, like it's it's been getting steadily busier. I think a lot of times, I think Jamie and G will agree with me, that what a lot of young or new bands do is rely on playing in front of their family and friends, and it doesn't sort of kind of get you anywhere. Like, so you need to try to be playing in front of new people, new crowds, and hopefully some of those people are going to like you. And that's basically what I've done whenever I've been booking gigs, is building relationships with other bands and saying, could we jump on a gig with you? Could we do some gig swaps? We are going to be doing this. Do you want to come up and jump on this bill? And we'll come down and support you somewhere else. And it's really helped us out.
In terms of profile, or in terms of getting that stage time and getting that kind of connection with owning the stage again?
Everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely everything. I think, if you looked at what we had done from or how we were at the very start until now, just really simple things. When I first started, being the front man, I always had a mic stand in front of me, and it kind of used it as a bit of a shield between myself and the audience. But now, I come on stage, grab the mic, and the mic stand gets chucked to fuck, and the mic doesn't touch the mic stand again until the end of the set, and I'm in the crowd's faces and try to G people up, kind of thing. Jamie jumps about the stage like an absolute fucking nutter. G's obviously just new in the band, but brings a new dynamic as well. And I think that stage presence is as important as the music.
It's entertainment. Yeah.
So that's something you guys really want to bring. I mean, it's interesting. The band you've spoken about, they're all about entertaining and making it an event, an experience. Is that something you wanted as part of that as well, Jamie?
Definitely, absolutely. It's always been my nature. See, if you don't look like you're enjoying it, how can you expect an audience to enjoy it? And sometimes you go and watch a band and they're static and they look like rabbits in the headlights. Going back to Slipknot or whatever, you're not going to see Slipknot just standing there. If they're doing somersaults or, getting the crowd G'd up, or what's his name, the DJ guy climbing up speakers and stuff like that. It's all part of the, it's not just about playing 12 songs one after the other.
Yeah.
And
you got to have fun. You got to have fun.
That's just what I was going to say. There could be two people in the audience, and we would, just play our hearts out and just absolutely roll them in the floor if we have to. But it's fun.
We've talked about some positive gig experience, so to take it a turn a little bit, not negative experience in regards to you guys, but we always like talking about music experiences and gigs here. Guys, give me some of your worst gigs. Not ones you've played, but ones that you've seen. Ones that you've went...
Red Hot Chili Peppers at Hampden wins the trophy for the worst gig of all time.
Bloody hell, you didn't even need to take a breath on that.
No. Biffy Clyro played, they blew them off the stage. Red Hot Chili Peppers were embarrassing. I walked out in a huff.
What was wrong with it?
They were terrible, just terrible. Every third song they would play like a jam.
Nice.
Trumpet comes out and stuff. It's like, what? Just play the hits. That's, I want to see you playing Give It Away. I don't want to see you playing Walking Blues and G or go away. Oh, just awful. And Biffy Clyro were incredible. Maybe they were just scared to follow Biffy. Maybe that's what it was.
Wow, there it is. Gee, what about you, man?
They've just booked in again. This was like 45 quid a ticket, and then the last time they were playing it was 90. No thanks.
I'm trying to think of a bad gig.
It must have been a bad gig.
I'm quite positive though.
I can remember seeing one of the weirdest ones that I've been at, and it was a charity one at the SECC where right in the middle of it for no reason. Does everyone remember the movie Godzilla?
Yeah.
Remember the movie Godzilla with Matthew Broderick? Remember when Jimmy Page did with Puff Daddy did Come With Me? Come With Me, remember that?
Yeah.
So they got the actor Jonathan Watson, who plays Frank McElveny, and Only an Excuse to come out and sing a song to that. And it was just called Frankie Boy, and it was just him repeating that. Everyone's sitting about waiting for Big Country to hit the fucking stage, but instead we have to sit and watch him for 3.5 minutes of perplexed Glaswegians just going. And I think this was for honestly, I think this was like a charity for like AIDS or something like that. Like it was something like that, not for AIDS, for to help against AIDS. Just to make that very clear. I want to make sure that's not the type of gig you'll find me at. I can make that clear, make that positive now. But this was the weirdest thing, and that's why when if you're dying your arse as a comedian, that's one thing. But you see, when you've got to sing a song for 3.5 fucking minutes and everyone's just looking at you confused, I swear I actually heard somebody shout, "Oh, when's Big Country on?" I could hear a pin drop, and that was with music blaring over the SECC. That's my worst. That's definitely my worst.
I think, my worst isn't actually the worst gig, because the gig itself was fucking amazing, but it was Puddle of Mud supporting Corn at the SECC.
I remember that.
Puddle of Mud walked out on stage, and from the minute they walked out on stage, the Glasgow audience was just telling them to fuck right off. Like they must have made the most money they've ever made in their life that night, because there was pound coins getting fucking hurled onto that stage. Like I think
Puddle of Mud done?
They're fucking rotten. Let's be honest.
They are rotten as well.
I mean, I think I must have tipped the fucking singer from Puddle of Mud at least 100 quid that night, because I was chucking pounds like it was going out of fashion. They were fucking rotten, and like they played 4 or 5 songs, and like all he kept saying was, "Give me your hate, Glasgow." Well, fuck off! Wouldn't I give you the steam off my piss? Wow. They played 4 or 5 songs and then left. And then obviously Korn took ages to get onto the stage, because like they played 15 minutes of a 40-minute set.
They got to bring in industrial sweepers to get rid of the pound coins that are on the fucking stage.
But it turned into a brilliant gig once those cunts got off the stage.
It made me think, just hearing that story reminds. Have you ever seen the footage of Daphne and Celeste doing Reading?
No. No.
Oh my god! Yeah,
getting
but the thing is, they're standing just outside, which is clearly the farthest throw somebody can get. So there's this ring of just bottles and pish and fucking nappies and Johnnies and the whole fucking thing. Just them going, "Okay, now here's our other song," and it's like, "What other song? Just sing Ugly and get off the stage." Fucking other song. I hate that shit. Getting back onto the road then, what's been, you've mentioned Newcastle and what have you, but what's been, do you think, the most memorable gig hitting the road?
Oh, Skipton, I would say.
Yeah, would it be supporting Puddle of Mud when they're coming back next year?
Honestly, if Puddle of Mud ever want us to, if Puddle of Mud ever want us to support them, give us a shout, because we'll blow them off the fucking stage. But Skipton was a brilliant gig. Like going down to Dubs and Dales, it was a VW camper festival, and it was the coldest that anyone's ever. It was the coldest that anybody's been ever. Honestly, I don't even think Edmund Hillary on his fucking trek to the Antarctic was as cold. It was brutal, but it was a brilliant gig. And it was really weird as well, because it was like rows of kids, and I swear punctuation. And every time I went to say something, I was going, aye, cool. Because there was all those wee kids. But that was good. Obviously, the Newcastle gig with Robert Raptors was amazing as well.
But Skipton was cool because it was all festival and it was as Scott says, it was families there. It was mainly kind of covers bands. I don't know if they booked us by mistake, but we were quite happy to go and do it anyway. But every other band was a covers band. We were the only originals, but folk really dug it. We had folk.
I got to see you live and play. It's great.
Yeah,
that was the first gig that G actually ever played for us. He learned 3 or 4 songs, and then came on stage and played the 3 or 4 songs with us, and then he went
into the crowd.
He fucked off and got steaming and watched the rest of the set. It was quite funny.
But yeah, we all camped down there and we all got steaming, and we all there was a silent disco on after it, and we had a pal of ours came down with his kids because he's got a camper van. Just really cool, and the silent disco was just far more fun than it had any right to be.
It genuinely was amazing.
It might have had something to do with how much bevy was consumed by us, but Max, the old bass, were absolutely it was free on Bailey.
See,
when I went,
that's it.
So all I was walking through was people just dancing, and it was weird. There was no music. It was
that's
seriously strange.
That's my problem with it. Whenever I've only been to one silent disco in my life, and it was like dueling, like DJs.
Right.
So like half the place was dancing to one thing and half the place was dancing to the other. And all I could think of, like, what if they're sending the other side messages? Like, we don't know, like, kill these cunts, you know, and stuff.
Like playing Black Sabbath backwards to fucking.
And then every 2 seconds I would go, just to make sure that somebody's actually listening. So, have we lost Jamie? Still there. Jamie, are you eating crisps?
Nah, I think his internet's just shit.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
Oh, this is weird. I can't hear it.
Oh, you're back.
Hey, there you go.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Don't worry though, we've got a substitute
I think
for him.
I'm gonna
There he is there. There he is right there. You're back. You're back, Jamie. Jamie, do you want to go out and come back in and we'll catch up with you in a second? He's away. Never mind. Well, sorry to see you've lost another member of the band that way, boys. It's now a two-piece. Congratulations.
Hey.
But enough of gigs. Let's talk singles and plans for the future. Now, you guys have already got, you can head over, check out stuff on the YouTube, the website, and what have you. What have you already got out there for people to check out, and how did that come together? Because like the music video you've got out there, absolutely brilliant. What have we already got out there that people can check out?
So we've got our first single of the year was Secrets. The second single was Killer, which is actually a cover of Adamski's, Adamski and Seal's song, which is, it's really weird to hear it sort of grunged up. And then our third single of the year was Burden. So that's the three that we've currently got out on Spotify. We're actually in the process at the moment. We've just got a couple more vocal tracks to do, and then we're going to release an EP this month. If we can get the vocal tracks done on Monday, we'll get it quickly mixed and mastered, and then I think we'll drop it probably in between Christmas and New Year.
Christmas Day.
Do you know, I'm thinking that if we can get it out in time for Christmas Day, I think I might just do that. But it's songs that we've got that they're fucking amazing, but they're just not going to make the album.
Right.
So we're releasing that just now, just so that people can hear some of the other stuff that we've got in our live repertoire, and then for the next 5 months we're in the studio non-stop, like writing, recording, like rehearsing new material to hit the road again sort of 31st of March onwards. With all new material. Obviously there'll be some of the older songs that we've been doing just now within the set as well, but that's the plan going forward.
I can't tell if Jamie's frozen or if he's doing he's frozen.
Yes,
he's frozen. I was about to say it looked like he was doing a really good impression of Napoleon. So plan is next year an album, a couple more singles out before then?
Yeah, so the EP this month, hopefully, then we'll look to have another single out end of January, sort of start February time is the current plan, which is basically going to be the sort of like the first single off of the album. The album, we're looking to drop that in May, and we have we need to drop it in May because we've got an album launch gig booked at Nice and Sleazy's in Glasgow in May, so that's given us the sort of the impetus to get everything done so that we can actually meet the deadline of this gig. So yeah, that's the plan for next year. Potentially drop another single off it before May, maybe sort of somewhere around sort of the middle of March or whatever. Before we go, we've got another gig. We've got our first gig of 2023 booked for the 31st of March, and then it's just basically we'll go out on tour ourselves in June, and then we've got the rescheduled Boy Hits Cars dates to make up next year as well.
All right. Well, look, what's some of the other kind of ambitions you guys have got like going forward? You've talked about want to get more gigs under the belt. What a 2022 has been. What's some of those other ambitions? I'm going to try and bring Jamie in one more time, see if we can work here. I don't know if he's using a potato as an internet router or whatever. There he is. And he's in a different room.
I've changed devices. I went closer to my router.
There we go. Congratulations. What's some of the big ambitions you guys have got going forward? And then I'm going to ask you, what is the advice that you would give? Because you guys have all been involved in music. You've done other things. You've coming back. You're about that, recreating this new thing, moving forward. Some of the advice you'd give to like other people wanting to get into music and take that jump. First of all, let's talk about ambitions for the future. G, what have you got? What's some of the things you've got planned in order? What you'd like to see happening with the band?
I just like to eventually get a good following, really good following, you know. I'd love to play the bars. I think that'd be supporting on our own. That would just be the best thing. I think that would be the top of the mountain for me, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I like that one. Jamie, what about you?
I think I just have to kind of echo G's point there. Like, I think the Barrowlands is a massive target for any of us. Hello, Brody. He's not feeling well. He's not feeling well. I think. I mean, like, you know, a big name support slot would be awesome. You know, maybe like a tour or something like that. Supporting a band. Let's say Therapy, for instance. That would just be incredible. Or
Therapy this, Therapy that. Oh my god.
Therapy. But just keep playing and keep enjoying it. That's kind of my aim. Maybe make some money.
I like it. Scott, finally over to you. What are we looking at?
Short term for me is ambition for the band is to get some festival slots under our belt. Some proper festival slots. You know, I don't care if we're playing the 5th stage at 10 o'clock in the morning. You know, I would just love to get us on some festival slots. The bar again, you know, the bar it's a massive thing. You know, if I was one of those wanks that have like an ambitions board or whatever, I would have the Barrowlands like pinned to it. That's one of the things. Are you one of those wanks, Billy?
Got a fucking ambition board just there, mate. There's nothing on it. There's nothing on it.
You've met all your ambitions, Billy.
Oh, I haven't now, Jamie. That's a bit worrying when
there's no
when your agent's saying that. No, you've done your lot. That's fine. I'm grateful.
No, I think like the Barras would be right up there. You know, either headlining the Barras or you know or supporting a really fucking kick-ass band at the Barras would be amazing. I would disagree with G. That wouldn't be the top of the mountain for me. That would be the gateway to the foothills. Like playing the Barras, you know, like I would want to kick on from there. But again, kind of like what Jamie says as well, like kind of don't care is the thing, you know. Like, I just want to play gigs and enjoy them, you know. And if I'm playing gigs in front of 50 people, 500 or 5,000 people, it doesn't really make a difference as long as we're entertaining whoever's there in the room on that night. That's the long-term goal. In terms of advice, enjoy it is the biggest thing. You know, like see if you're doing something that you don't enjoy doing, like it becomes a slog. You know, like I genuinely enjoy getting into the studio and rehearsing. I enjoy writing. I enjoy performing live. It's one of the biggest kicks you could get, and that's the biggest bit of advice that I could give to anybody that's getting into music is just do what you enjoy. You know, don't let some wank in your band tell you you're not allowed to do something just because they don't like it.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do that vocal part.
Well, what about you? What about you, Jamie? What about you? What's one of the bits of advice you give to people that are looking to get back in the dance, so to speak?
I think nowadays it's a perfect time for people because everyone can record in their own house. Everyone can upload their own music. Record companies don't really exist as such anymore. Not in the same way they used to, so they don't control everybody anymore. So, but so anybody can really do it. But I think my biggest regret in the past, like I touched on earlier on, was that it was kind of all about just getting steaming and having a laugh. But I used to hang about with the Biffy twins, and they would treat it like a job. They would go at a certain time, 5 o'clock at night, and rehearse till 8 o'clock. You know, we were all out in the back garden drinking beer and eating barbecue food, and you know, they went and done that like it was a job. You know, they treated it with so much more respect than we did, and we just got wasted. And you know, I think the proof's in the pudding when you see what they went on to and what band at the time went on to. You know, so I think the advice would be definitely enjoy it, do what you want to do, but you know, take it seriously. Don't piss about. Don't waste your time. Have fun, but treat it like a career. Make it a career. All
right, and finally, what about you, G?
I'd probably agree with them. Just have fun, but work hard. Work hard. Don't take the mick, because as we've all been in bands that about 5 bands that fell on their asses, you know what I mean? Because we just carried on too much drinking and stuff. So make sure you put the work in.
Hang on, I'm just going to write something.
I want more milk, Dad.
I want more milk as well. We'll be 2 seconds. I'm just writing on my board to do some hard work. I'm just going to as well. Guys, this has been an absolute blast. We can check out everything going on with the Breathing Method over on the website, YouTube, Spotify as well, where you're starting to make waves out there and the music's getting over. I think you said something like it'd been shared in Russia just before we came on. Don't read anything into that.
Yeah, we get shared on a Russian music blog literally just before we started this podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, listen,
we're getting used. Burden will be over when he presses the red button to kill us all. That's what he's going to use in the background.
We're going to get. It'll be the biggest moment in your career, but also the shortest. But it'll be
the new Ride of the Valkyries.
Well, look. That's all we got time for, guys. Thank you for joining in. Now we've got a little bit of a tradition here at the show, which I've literally just started, which is we tend to wave goodbye over the closing music. Should warn you, the music's going to go off for ages. This is the darkest ending to Braw Cast ever. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can never use this.
This is too long enough to be extraordinarily awesome.
Cut it the fuck up, Billy.
Now, very special guest, the Breathing Method. Goodbye, and we'll see you again.